If you feel like you're always explaining yourself, always justifying, always trying to make them understand, pay attention. That's not communication. It's a game, and you only lose when you agree to play. Manipulative people rarely confront you head-on. They wear you down. They cross one small line, then another. And when you finally respond, they shift the focus. Suddenly the problem is your tone, your sensitivity, your way of speaking. Now you're not protecting your peace. You're defending your right to have peace. The reason so many people struggle to set boundaries isn't a lack of courage, it's fear of losing someone. But here's the uncomfortable truth, the people who leave when you start respecting yourself often didn't love you. They loved access. They loved your availability. They loved the version of you that would bend to keep everything smooth. Today, I'm going to show you 5 boundaries that completely change this dynamic. Simple, practical boundaries that expose control attempts in the moment. And the 5th is the hardest, because it requires one thing manipulators never expect from you, choosing yourself, even if it costs you approval, presence, or comfort. Boundary 1, you don't explain yourself more than once. There's a difference between clarity and over-explaining. Clarity is respect. Over-explaining is surrender. When you explain something once, you're being direct. When you explain it twice, you're being generous. When you explain it 3 times, you're being managed. Manipulators feed on confusion. They pretend not to understand. They ask the same question in slightly different ways. They dissect your wording. They treat your boundary like a debate topic. And you think, if I just say it better, they'll finally accept it. They understood the first time. They just didn't like the answer. So your rule is simple, state it once, clearly and calmly, then stop. No, I'm not available for that. Pause. I'm not comfortable with that. Pause. That doesn't work for me. Pause. The pause matters. It removes the opening they're waiting for. They want you to keep talking until you accidentally weaken your own boundary. They want you to add excuses they can attack. They want to turn a decision into a negotiation. As Epictetus taught, if you want to be free, stop giving other people the power to decide what you should do. Every extra explanation is a small transfer of that power. Here's the trap. Once someone learns you'll repeat yourself endlessly, they'll keep pushing until you crack. But when they learn your words don't come with endless follow-ups, they either adapt, or disappear. Boundary 2, you don't accept apologies without change. Some people apologize to reset the situation, not to repair it. They say, "I'm sorry," quickly. They say it often. And then nothing changes, same disrespect, same pattern, same outcome. The apology becomes a tool, not a truth. A way to keep access to you without paying the price of growth. A real apology comes with an upgrade, different actions, different behavior, different patterns. If the apology is genuine, it shows up in consistency. If it's manipulation, it shows up in repetition. Your boundary becomes this: you don't forgive repetition, you forgive improvement. You can even say it plainly, "I hear your apology. What I need now is change." Watch what happens next. A healthy person may feel uncomfortable, but they'll respect it. A manipulative person will try to make you feel cruel for asking. They'll call you unforgiving. They'll treat accountability like an attack. That reaction tells you everything. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, don't be impressed by words without character. Don't be moved by the performance. Watch the pattern, because the pattern is the person. Boundary 3, you don't react immediately. Manipulators love urgency. They want you emotional. They want you rushed. They want you responding under pressure, because pressured decisions usually benefit them. They provoke you. Accuse you. Guilt you. Then demand an answer right now. One of the strongest boundaries you can set is this: pause. The pause breaks the spell. It gives your nervous system time to settle. It gives your mind space to see what's happening. It turns pressure into something you can observe instead of something you must obey. Your line can be simple: "I'll get back to you." It's calm. It's neutral. And it removes their control instantly. If they respect you, they'll accept it. If they're trying to control you, they'll punish the pause. They'll push harder. They'll say, "Why are you making this such a big deal?" They'll try to force immediacy. But the Stoics were clear: you don't have to attend every emotional emergency someone creates. You always have the right to choose your response. Boundary 4, you don't reward bad behavior with more effort. This is the slow trap that drains good people for years. When someone pulls away, you chase. When someone gives less, you give more. When someone withdraws affection, you try harder. But effort should be matched, not chased. Manipulators often reduce effort on purpose. Not because they're overwhelmed, but because they're testing you. They want to see how much you'll tolerate. How desperate you'll become. How quickly you'll abandon your own needs to keep them comfortable. Your new rule is simple: when they give less, you don't give more, you match. If they step back, you don't sprint forward, you stand still. If they communicate vaguely, you don't write paragraphs. You stay clear and brief. If they show up inconsistently, you stop building your life around their randomness. Every time you reward disrespect with extra effort, you teach a dangerous lesson: disrespect works. Matching effort doesn't mean becoming cold. It means becoming honest about what the connection truly is, not what you wish it would be. Boundary 5, you don't stay where you're not valued. This is the ultimate boundary, and the one manipulators fear most. Manipulators thrive on one belief: that you won't leave. That you're too loyal, too patient, too forgiving, too hopeful. That you'll keep accepting crumbs because you remember the moments when it felt good. But the moment you become willing to walk away, their control evaporates. Not out of anger. Out of self-respect. Leaving isn't losing. Leaving is choosing. You choose peace over chaos. Respect over crumbs. Self-worth over emotional debt. As Seneca warned, if you keep returning to what harms you, you're not being kind, you're being careless with your life. Your time and peace are not endless resources. You can love people and still leave situations that damage you. You can forgive and still create distance. You can be compassionate and still be unavailable to disrespect. Manipulators don't fear your kindness. They fear your boundaries. Kindness without boundaries becomes weakness. Kindness with boundaries becomes strength. Power. Self-respect. So remember these 5. You don't explain yourself more than once. You don't accept apologies without change. You don't react immediately. You don't reward bad behavior with more effort. And you don't stay where you're not valued. You're not becoming cold. You're becoming clear. And clarity is the end of manipulation.